What is good, agency owners? This is Jordan Ross, founder of How to Scale an Agency. Today, I got a fucking legend in the making. Ruud-Johnson, founder of Easy Button Services. This guy's a real estate investor, serial entrepreneur, and honestly one of the fucking realest and most talented entrepreneurs I've had the pleasure of being around. So he will, if he's not on a 30 under 30 list, he will be. That's for fucking sure. So, guys, Cole Ruud-Johnson, you're going to really enjoy this episode. He's been working with us for a little bit. But Cole, for everyone that doesn't know you, who's Cole Ruud-Johnson? What is Easy Button Services? And we'll take it from there.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, man. Yeah, so my original background was in real estate. So when I left school, I was 18, 19. I got into the real estate space, wholesaling, flipping, things of that nature. And quickly, I ran into an issue being young of staffing. And so I got really into overseas staffing, primarily on the lead gen side of cold calling, which kind of led into now my core businesses, which are we're really an overseas staffing agency. So under Easy Button Service, we have a couple of different types of businesses we service, but mainly it's telephony services. So outbound lead gen, inbound call taking, combined with tech is what we do for the most part. I'm still involved in real estate and some other things as well, but most of my attention goes towards growing and scaling our agencies around telephony services.
Beautiful. Well, dude, thank you for coming in. For everyone that doesn't know where you were, right? So Cole's one of our clients. He's a fast fucking growing client. This guy's running a multi-7-figure operation. And, within a short period of time, right? Only a few months, right? You've added, I think we were talking about it, but I didn't write it down, but it sounded like you added probably over 100K quickly in monthly revenue.
Yeah.
When we started, right, which was a few months back, I'll pull those numbers up in a second. Where was Easy Button when we started engaging with you, and why were you looking into seeking out consulting services for your business?
Yeah, it wasn't as much of a revenue thing as it was becoming a better and better business owner and operator and building a team. And that's the main thing. I knew revenue would follow a really good team, and we had the right people. We just didn't really know how to get the most out of our people, out of our team. And so the main reason that I originally sought out a variety of different people and then ended up working with Jordan, we had built a relationship, and I could tell he knew what he was doing on the operation side. And the guy, Spencer, who's incredible, who I was grooming to become our COO and take over the day-to-day operations of our business, he needed some external assistance. And ADF was one of those people that we brought in to work with him primarily. But really what it has is just created acceleration in our organization between, accountability between departments, onboarding, retention, just understanding how to move in a way where we're cohesive and we're rallying around goals and metrics that matter. And that's been the biggest thing to us. The revenue side's kind of been a lagging thing after firming up our operations, building our team. And yeah, we've gone from when we came to ADF, we were doing about 225 in monthly revenue, about 175 of that was just recurring on contract, and the rest of that was additional products we sell. And then now we're doing I know the exact number today. We're doing 238 in monthly recurring revenue. That's just on contracts with, again, another 100 or so now coming from additional products and services that we offer to our clients, which has been incredible. So, we cracked 300 or north of 300 now in terms of all-inclusive revenue, and it's been a great experience for myself, really even more valuable for my team, just understanding how to get the most out of our overall infrastructure and point us in the right direction. So, yeah, it's been incredible.
And then for every one of you that was listening to that is adding 63K in monthly recurring revenue. And Cole, we have worked with you for 3 months, right? Because we're on month 4 right now. So within 4 months, we'd be able to do that. And I think for you guys listening, for Cole's a perfect example of who we like to work with the most. Here's why. This guy can go fucking sell. He's got a lead gen business, right? So sales is never an issue for a guy like you who literally has a cold calling team, and you got a great community. It's everything else. So the analogy I give of a guy like you, it's in basketball, because I know you also played and I did too. Just because you're talented, you can score the rock, doesn't mean that if I put you and 5 other people I could also score, that you're going to be winning, right? And when you were talking through that, it made me think a lot about that cohesion, right? How do we hold our team members accountable in basketball? It's the same concept in business. How do we build a good team with clarity, accountability? Like, I remember the best basketball team I ever played on. The coach went down the line for the top 10 players. And he's like, this is your role on the team. I was like, whoa, we were fucking great. We crushed. Like a bunch of the guys I played with ended up going D1. They fucking nailed it. So thinking back, right? 4 months in, the lag indicator has been revenue. You've been able to grow more because you're able to do more with your team. What specifically did we start to do with you, Spencer, the team, that actually has bared fruit in those first, call it 60 days?
It's a good question. I think first and foremost, I think everyone has, as an entrepreneur, right? So many of us go and we try to start 6, 7, 8 different businesses. And I've come to believe the reason is because we all have an operation. We have all of a ceiling of operational complexity, meaning we only know what we know. And a business is truly, like what I found to be very true, a business is really only the sum of the collective internal ideas and brains you have in the company. And so the number one reason I think it's been biggest is bringing in an outside brain. So when Spencer, who is the president of the day-to-day, I mean, I don't, my active involvement in my business now is really high-level partnerships, helping build culture, helping recruit when needed, and driving in a certain direction and just making sure intensity is there. And I'm showing up and bringing intensity. But for Spencer and the guys in our management team now, it's just been such a useful tool on those weekly calls to get in there and to be able to ask and offload bottlenecks to someone else that's not in the business. Because I found that every single leap we've had in business, the ideas come from someone outside of our business. For example, I'll give you a really good example. We had a pricing model, I'll call it pricing model A, that was good. We were doing well. And we hired a sales manager, Nelson, who's still our sales manager. He's incredible, killer. And he came in and said, hey guys, I've worked at all these companies. I worked at a big corporate company. You guys should change your pricing to this. And we sat there, we said, that makes sense. And none of us ever had that idea internally. And that's changed the game for us big time as well. So outside ideas and outside brains on your business is so incredibly valuable. And having those weekly calls with the ADF team is a place not only for our management team to ask questions and get aligned and know what they need to do their job better, manage better, and lead better, but also just having that outside perspective on issues that you face in your business is incredibly valuable. And I think it's the number one reason I think a lot of entrepreneurs plateau isn't because they're not maximizing what they know, but they don't have other people looking in under the hood and saying, hey, have you thought about doing this in a different way? So yeah, I think those are the most impactful things so far to date working with you guys. Besides, it's a lot of times I've found like leaders that work for me too. They know the answer. They just need to build that internal confidence. And so getting on with the ADF team and having someone to bounce ideas off of and be affirmed that, no, you're on the right track, you're making the right decision, helps them build that internal confidence, not just from me patting them on the back, so they know they're really taking ownership and they're getting good at what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I love those 2 points, Cole. The first thing you alluded to, it's called Solomon's paradox. I actually recently learned about this psychological principle. It's the principle states, and I'm actually talking more about this in content and internally with my team to educate our clients. We as individuals are, especially as business owners and operators, we are less effective for solving our own problems than someone else can. And the reason is we have cognitive bias. We see a limited perspective. And when someone comes in from a 50,000 foot view, they see so much more of the landscape because they're not inundated. So that was number one. And I heard that principle is from Hormozy. And I was like, oh shit, I need to talk about this shit a lot. And then number two, right? Most of the businesses, we brought on a $4 million business also in sales operations. They're in a similar space. They're not doing the same thing. They're doing more consulting for enterprises. And the guy was like, what am I going to learn about my business when you guys do discovery? I'm like, well, if you're learning something, you're really fucking up. Like, you should really not learn anything. A lot of what we do is reframing how you see your business, getting clarity on the appropriate numbers and mechanisms and systems we actually need to focus on that lead to leverage, which grows. And then, right, like, you're just not moving as fast as you can be. We're here to help make sure we're expediting your journey from A to B. And I feel like you really, really well encapsulate that. For you, are you actually in the calls or is it just Spencer?
I haven't been on an ADF call since the first one, personally.
Cool. Even better, right? So you're literally like, I just know this shit. So what have you seen in terms of behavior from your budding COO? What have you seen from someone who's literally there from afar?
Just a lot of things, confidence, and understanding of how to move the organization, keep people accountable. Our weekly meetings are like militant now with Spencer running those. Our team's engaged, and just seeing him really, take ownership over the role. Right when I step in, and the cool, I knew that he was really becoming the leader that we needed for that role. When I try to step in now, because no matter how good you get as a business owner, it's your business, and you want to step in sometimes and push things along. But when I try to do that now, he's like, "No, Cole, like you're wrong, or you're off, or you don't have the right information." And I
Fuck
think
yeah.
and that's why I'm not on those calls, because he comes to me and he shares ideas or takeaways, and it's all stuff like I know, like nothing that he's being told is I don't know. Really, what he needs is someone else to help him take the 10 things that we know we need to do and then do them in the right order to get to where we want to go. I think that's the biggest thing with consulting is even like business coaches I have, it's or personal coaches, it's never that we don't have the information. It's you don't have like the Dave Ramsey baby step by step of how to align those and sequence those out to get to where you want to go. So yeah, man, I think for me, it's the confidence, the ownership he's taking, and that reflects and echoes through our whole organization. Our meetings are good, or they're tight. Everyone has accountability over their tasks and weekly, what they're attacking. Our core, we're really aligned with our quarterly rocks, what we're doing. And yeah, it's a funner business to run too. I mean, when more fun, right? Proper.
Yeah.
When more people are engaged and aligned, and there's nothing left to assumption, it creates a really fun business to run.
So let's talk on that for a second, because you told me, I think you were in maybe Hawaii when we were talking recently, like in the last few months.
It was the Bahamas.
And you hit me, Bahamas, okay. It was somewhere tropical, right? But you hit me recently with like, dude, I realized that, I think it might even have been a voice note, dude, when I just have more time to think, my business grows, right? You hit me with that bar recently. I was like, damn, really simple, but really deep, like really deep insight. Talk to me about that. Now that you've built a business that you're not needed in the day to day, like you've really gone deep. You've built something great. You built a great team. I think a lot of people, when they might see that from you, that might seem so far off, but what is it like sitting in that vantage point? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs need to be able to, like, seeing is believing type of situation. And if I get a glimpse into what it looks like at that level, then I could probably get there faster. Talk to me about that.
To be honest with you, for a while it sucked in the sense of like, it's like I've been doing. Here's an analogy that I give to Spencer all the time. Who's our COO. I say, it's like I was doing layups my whole life with my right hand, but now all of a sudden I'm doing every layup every day with my left hand. And positives or allows me to do what I'm best at, which is chasing down bigger partnerships, resources, thinking how do we grow what the business looks like from 2 years from now, who do we need to hire, those kind of things that I think people see as lazy are really what your role should be in your company, right? And I found I'm 2-3 months into truly being in this role, but it's it makes business fun, right? It's where everyone should aspire to get, and it's a pain in the ass to get there. You have a lot of ups and downs, and
Big pain in the ass.
big pain,
Not
in the ass,
easy.
right? And you also have to get used to, like, you can't really, if you want to get there, you can't, rob the company account every month and pay yourself as much as you could, right? Because your organization is going to make mistakes as you try to do this, right? People are going to make the wrong decisions, but you have to let people make the wrong decisions in order to learn how to make the right ones. And that's the biggest thing I think of getting there is the number one thing, if you're listening to this, has got me here is empowering other people to make decisions and solve problems. That's been by far the biggest thing for me. Is if I'm ever in a position where I'm getting back into that mode, then I know I'm getting away from what got me here.
Well, dude, I really love that. I think, even for myself, one of the things I said to my coach, I have a coach I walk with weekly on the beach. It's really fucking great just to make sure I'm clearing my headspace. Yeah. One of the things I said to him, I was like, dude, I continually get a deeper appreciation for who we help and what we do, because shit's fucking hard. Like, this shit is not easy at all. Nothing about this is easy. So founders that are able to get there, I think there's a deep respect that I have from going through the trenches with you guys too, because and dude, you above all people, like, you are really one of the realists. I really mean that.
I appreciate it.
So for everyone that's really intrigued by your offers or what you do, because you got a few offers, you got a really cool high ticket offer under Easy Button that I think's dope. Like, what are some of the services outside of just the cold calling service for the real estate industry that you guys offer? And then we'll transition to talk more about, where they could come find you.
Yeah, so we have our easy button lead side, which is lead generation primarily for people in the real estate space. That was our core book of business that's allowed us to scale. Then we have easy button reception, which is working with franchises around the country to kind of overtake it's a virtual reception desk model combined with a little bit of AI and tech to expedite um, and lesser our overhead. But essentially, what we do is we go to companies for anywhere from franchises to single private practice dental offices, and we offshore their telephony services for them so that they have call answering 24/7 for a much lower cost. And then I have a program called Call Cash Flow, which we help people in non-direct competitor industries. So if you're a roofer, if you own a HVAC company, if you own a taxi company, is one guy I worked with, we help you build your own overseas mini call center that you can set up your own telephony side for you. And the main reason why I do that is just because it's so powerful and people save so much money, and it's obviously it makes money too for us, but it's been a great way to take what we know how to do all around the world and extrapolate that without a ton of more overhead on our end for business owners and operators that need that.
Yeah, it's super powerful, and I've seen the community you have. It's great. So for everyone that wants to either follow you, get in touch with you, learn more about you, your offerings, your services, where can they come find you?
Instagram and Twitter is the best place. I have YouTube, I have TikTok, I have everything, but I'm most responsive on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter's at Ruud-Johnson, Instagram's at Ruud-Johnson, lowercase, no dashes, easy. And
that's Ruud, Ruud,
correct. Yep.
for you guys listening. Awesome. Well, Cole, thank you for coming on, bro. It's absolute pleasure. I appreciate it, man.